The stars exploded in silence as the first alien armada pierced Earth's atmosphere, their ships carving wounds across the sky, like gods descending to claim their due. But it wasn't conquest they brought. It was a verdict already passed in the cold halls of the Galactic Concord. Dr. Ilara Voss stood on the rooftop of the crumbling United Nations building in New York, her breath fogging the chilled air of a world that had just learned its fate. The wind whipped her dark hair across her face, carrying the distant wail of sirens and the acrid scent of burning cities. She clutched the data slate in her trembling hands, its screen flickering with the intercepted transmission, a unanimous vote from over 1,000 species across the stars. Earth, humanity's cradle, was to be enslaved. Not destroyed, not negotiated with, enslaved. Her heart pounded like a war drum. How had it come to this? She had dedicated her life to xenobiology, dreaming of first contact as a bridge between worlds. Now, those worlds had judged us unworthy of freedom. But that was only the beginning. Ilara's mind raced back to the day it all started 6 months ago when the first signal arrived. It wasn't a hello, it was an invitation, or so it seemed. A holographic projection had bloomed in every major observatory on Earth, a swirling vortex of light that resolved into a face, Chidness, with eyes like fractured diamonds, speaking in a voice that echoed through translators as smooth as silk. Humanity, it intoned, you have been discovered. The Galactic Concord welcomes you to the vote. The vote? What vote? Governments scrambled, scientists like Ilara were pulled into emergency councils. She remembered the sterile conference room in Geneva, the air thick with coffee and desperation. It's a referendum, she'd explained to the assembled leaders, her voice steady despite the knot in her stomach. Every member species in this Concord gets a say on new civilizations. Integration, alliance, observation, or subjugation. The room had erupted in chaos. Presidents shouted, generals pounded fists. But Ilara knew the truth from her decrypted fragments. Subjugation was on the table. And why? Because humanity was seen as a threat, volatile, warlike, innovative in ways that scared the stars. What none of them knew then was the hidden layer beneath the vote, a secret that would unravel everything. As the Armada's lead ship, a colossal behemoth shaped like a living crystal, descended toward the Atlantic, Ilara's comm device buzzed. It was Marcus, her old mentor, and the only other human who had glimpsed the deeper codes in the signal. Ilara, get out of there. His voice crackled, laced with fear. They're not here to enforce the vote. They're here because something's wrong. The Concord, it's pleading. Pleading? The word hung in her mind like a noose. She glanced up as the ship's underbelly split open, revealing not weapons, but a shimmering portal. Figures emerged, aliens of every imaginable form. Tentacled behemoths, ethereal light beings, scaled warriors with blades for arms. They didn't attack. They floated down, their postures not triumphant, but desperate. One, the diamond-eyed envoy from the hologram, approached her directly, its form hovering inches above the rooftop gravel. Human, it said, its voice now trembling through the translator. We beg you. Mercy. Ilara's world tilted. Mercy? From the enslaved? But as the envoy extended a appendage, projecting a new hologram, a map of the galaxy pulsing with red alerts, she realized the vote wasn't what it seemed. It was a desperate ploy, and Earth was the key to their salvation. None of us were prepared for the truth. In the hours that followed, as chaos gripped the planet, riots in Tokyo, prayers in Rome, silence in the empty streets of Moscow, Ilara was whisked aboard the crystal ship. The interior was a labyrinth of living corridors, walls that breathed and shifted like veins in a colossal heart. The air hummed with energy, tasting of ozone and distant storms. She felt small, insignificant, yet the aliens treated her with a reverence that bordered on fear. You are the voice, the envoy, who called itself Zyrak, explained as they glided through a chamber filled with holographic stars. Your species unique. We need you. Zyrak's diamond eyes fractured light into rainbows as it gestured. The hologram expanded, showing the Galactic Concord. A vast alliance spanning quadrants, born from the ashes of ancient wars. Species that had evolved on gas giants, in volcanic depths, under triple suns. They had achieved peace through the vote, a democratic process where every new discovery was assessed. But Earth? Your world was not meant to be found yet, Zyrak confessed. We accelerated the process. Because of the void. The void. The word sent a chill down Alara's spine. It was a cosmic anomaly, a devouring darkness spreading from the galaxy's core, erasing stars, planets, entire civilizations. Not a black hole, but something alive, sentient, feeding on consciousness. The Concord had fought it for centuries, losing ground. Their technologies, warp drives, neural nets, energy shields, failed against it. But humanity? You are chaotic, Zyrak said, almost admiringly. Unpredictable. Your emotions fuel innovations we cannot replicate. We voted to enslave you, to harness that chaos, to weaponize your minds against the void. Ilara recoiled, her fists clenching. Enslave us? To save themselves? Rage boiled in her chest, memories flashing. Her parents lost in a senseless war, her own scars from lab accidents chasing dreams of unity. You think we'll just submit? She spat. Fight your own battles. Zyrak's form dimmed, a sign of sorrow in its species. We have no choice. But already the plan unravels. The void senses you. It comes faster. What I saw next changed everything. Deep in the ship's core, a chamber of pure light, Zyrak revealed the archives. Holograms of fallen worlds. A planet of singers whose melodies once held back the darkness, now silent voids. A race of builders, their megastructures crumbled to dust. We tried logic, Zyrak whispered. Harmony. But the void thrives on order. It devours the predictable. Ilara's mind whirled. Humanity's strength was our messiness, love, hate, creativity born from pain. But to enslave us? She thought of Marcus, back on Earth, rallying defenses. Of her lover, Lena, a pilot in the orbital fleet, probably suiting up for a futile stand. Personal stakes pierced her like shards. If she refused, Earth burned. If she agreed, humanity became tools. As alarms blared, the void's tendrils probing the ship's shields, Ilara faced her first moral dilemma. Show me how to fight it, she demanded. Zyrak hesitated, then nodded. They linked her to the neural interface, a web of light that flooded her senses. Visions assaulted her. The void's hunger, a bottomless abyss whispering doubts. It knew her fears, isolation, failure. But in that connection, Ilara felt a spark. Human resilience. She pushed back, not with logic, but with raw emotion. A scream of defiance. The ship shuddered. The void retreated just a fraction. But that was only the beginning. Word spread through the armada. Humanity's potential was real. But not all species agreed. In the Grand Assembly Hall, a vast dome orbiting Earth, filled with representatives from 1,000 worlds, descent brewed, a hulking warrior from the Crag Dominion. Its scales, gleaming like obsidian, slammed a fist. Enslave them? They are vermin. Weak bodies, short lives. The void will consume us all if we rely on such frailty. Ilara stood at the center, projected as a giant hologram for all to see. Her heart thundered. She was no diplomat. She was a scientist thrust into the star's courtroom. You voted for this, she countered, her voice amplified across languages. Because you need us. But slavery? That's your fear talking. Partner with us, or watch your empires fall. Murmurs rippled. Zyrak supported her, its light form pulsing. But betrayal lurked. A sly entity, a shadow being called Nyx, whispered alliances in dark corners. Nyx had its own agenda, to absorb the void, become its master. Human. It cooed in her mind during a private link. Join me. True power awaits. Temptation gnawed at Ilara. Power to save Earth, to avenge losses. But she sensed the trap. Nyx's logic was too cold, too ordered. It would feed the void, not fight it. Tension escalated as the void advanced. Scout ships vanished, their last transmissions screams of static. Earth below teemed with unrest. Governments broadcasted Ilara's image, calling her traitor or savior. Lena's message reached her. "Come back, Ilara. We need you here." The emotional pull tore at her. In a daring move, Ilara proposed a test. "Link me to your fleet's mine net. Let me lead a strike against the void's edge." The assembly voted narrowly in favor. As she donned the interface suit, a second skin of glowing filaments, fear gripped her. What if she failed? Billions doomed. The strike launched. Ships warped to the galaxy's rim, where stars dimmed like dying embers. The void loomed, a swirling maelstrom of nothingness, tendrils lashing like whips. Ilara's consciousness expanded, merging with pilots, engineers, aliens. She felt their fears, Zyrak's regret, the Crag's rage. Now, she commanded, they fired not weapons, but amplified human emotions. Waves of hope, defiance, love. The void recoiled, shrieking in her mind. Victory? Fleeting. A tendril struck back, severing connections. Pain exploded. Ilara blacked out, waking to alarms. Half the fleet gone. What happened next defied all logic. In the aftermath, accusations flew. Nyx accused Ilara of sabotage, its shadows coiling. But Zyrak uncovered evidence. Nyx had tampered with shields, feeding data to the void. Betrayal exposed. Nyx fled, merging with a shuttle, warping away. The assembly fractured. Some species withdrew, others pledged loyalty. Ilara, scarred but resolute, returned to Earth. Landing in a scorched field outside Beijing, she embraced Lena, tears mixing with rain. "It's not over," she whispered. "The void knows us now. It's coming for Earth." Marcus joined them, his face lined with exhaustion. "We've reverse-engineered their tech. Global mine net. But it needs you, Ilara. Your spark." The escalation peaked. As the void's shadow eclipsed distant stars, humanity united, not in fear but fury. Billions linked via neural implants, a web of thoughts spanning continents. Ilara at the center, in a fortified bunker beneath the Himalayas. But doubt crept. In quiet moments, she questioned, were we tools after all? Or saviors? The mid-story turning point arrived, unannounced. During a simulation, Ilara delved deeper into the void's essence. It wasn't just hunger, it was loneliness. Born from a universe's birth, an echo of creation's chaos, rejected by ordered life. It devoured to connect, but destroyed instead. "Wait, this is not what I expected," she murmured. The void wasn't evil, it was broken. Like humanity, chaotic, seeking meaning. This revelation shifted everything. No more war. Communion. With Zyrak's help, Ilara broadcasted not defiance, but understanding. "We see you," she sent, infusing it with human stories. Love lost, dreams chased, pains endured. The void paused. Tendrils halted. But Nyx returned, amplified by stolen power, merging with the void's edge. Foolish empathy, it roared, launching an assault. The final confrontation unfolded in psychic space. Ilara versus Nyx, the void as battlefield. Aliens watched, helpless. Lena's voice anchored her. Fight, with heart, not hate. Ilara wove emotions, her fears, joys, into a tapestry. Nyx's logic crumbled. The void, touched by kinship, rejected Nyx, absorbing it into oblivion. As light returned, the void transformed. Not destroyed, but evolved. A guardian now, weaving with the galaxy's fabric. Peace descended. Species pled for mercy, not from enslavement, but forgiveness. "We misjudged you," Zyrak admitted, dimming in respect. Ilara stood on a healed Earth, stars clear above. Humanity, free, reached out as equals. In the quiet dawn, she whispered to the sky, "We were the chaos they needed, and in saving them, we saved ourselves." The universe, forever changed, echoed her words in eternal light.